Hey, you! Yeah, you. You here for the show? Cool. Let's go over a couple rules. First, welcome and buckle up. Second, the views and opinions expressed do not reflect the views and opinions of the station sponsors or musical affiliations. And last, but not least, if you should choose to stay, just remember, we warned you, and you're not responsible for the loss of any life, limbs, or mental stability.
Portions of the day's programming are reproduced by means of electrical transcriptions or tape recordings.
And now, broadcasting from the heart of Metro Detroit, you're listening to the Odd Pod.
Double the D's for double the fun.
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
That's right, we'll do it live, and fuck it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Odd Pod. I'm your host, Odd. With me is my co-host, Ace.
Howdy, howdy.
You're listening to us on tapdetroit.com. You're sitting in a home. Inside of a city. Inside of a state.
Inside of a country.
Yep.
On a continent.
Yep.
On one side of the earth.
You see where I was going with
I
this.
see where you was going. I'm here, too.
Well, it's Friday. It's that third one from the big, bright, burning thing. Yeah.
7 if you count from the other way.
Yeah. Pluto's still a planet to me. You're never going to change my mind on that.
The Anunnaki say it's a planet. I believe the Anunnaki.
Look, there are certain things in life that I have been willing to accept have changed over the course of my life. Certain things that I knew to be truths or set in stones have somehow become a little muddled over the course of my growing up. So, fine. Most of those I can accept. Pluto's still a fucking planet.
Yeah, Pluto's still a planet, and don't drink my damn tea. Those are unbreakable rules.
Look, Pluto's still a planet, and it was big enough for your mom.
Oh, big enough for your mom. Or else your mom was Pluto.
Oh, well.
That's a possibility, too.
Nah, mine was a little goofy.
Come to think of it, so was mine.
Yeah-da-da-da-da-da. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. We got so much show this evening. I don't even know where we're going to begin.
So much show, we ain't got enough show to show y'all the show.
Yeah, kind of. So we have brand new music tonight to not only my show, but the network as well. I passed it along to Planky last night, and he played it. Tonight, I'm playing the same songs that Planky played last night, because these are the two songs that the band wanted pushed right now. The band is a family affair, in a sense. So the band is, the guitarist is Ace's son.
Bassist. In this
bassist, sorry.
Yes.
Meh. Yeah, so the bassist is Ace's son, Pat, and so it's funny, because we were sitting and talking about this just a couple of days ago when I was over there, and it came up organically because your daughter didn't realize how long I've been attached to your family.
It's starting to become a while.
Yeah. Sorry.
She just didn't realize you was around when Dad was still alive.
You see, the problem was you fed me once, and I never left.
Yeah, it's like a stray cat.
Yeah.
Same thing. That's why I'm here.
So, yeah, we were sitting there, and we were talking, and she had brought up something, and I was like, do you realize I watched both of you grow up? Because Pat was there, too. And Pat immediately understood, because...
Right. He remembers.
Yeah.
A little older.
Your daughter, on the other hand, was more on the, nah.
It hadn't been that long, has it?
Yeah.
I'm getting old.
But no, I what I'm getting at is I've seen your kids grow up. I've seen them become very well-adjusted and productive members of society.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I say well-adjusted, but within our standards.
we got pretty loose standards around here.
Well, if you set the bar low enough, you can always step over it. So yeah, I've seen them grow up, and I've watched Patrick. Patrick is an amazing musician. The rest of the band sounds great, and I am not taking away from any of their talent, but Patrick is what I've seen growing up, and becoming the musician that he is. The bands that he's been in, the bands that he sat in on, I don't believe that there is an instrument that boy can't play.
If there is, I haven't found it. And if you could drag it up, you could figure it out in about 20 minutes.
I was just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's very talented. He writes his own music and stuff. His stuff sounds different from what he plays, which is even weirder. But so I've always been a big supporter of Patrick and the music that he does. I have tried to get music from any band that he's been in along the way and have it played.
And it's been a struggle.
Look, musicians, man. I love them. They're great. They're talented. They're creative. Man.
When you get 4 people trying to do the same thing and 4 people got different ideas on how this should be done, it rarely works out.
But I will say this. From the experiences that I personally have had in the past with trying to get in contact with band members or try to get content from them, even Patrick, and a lot of the times Patrick's like, man, I can only do so much myself, Right. The last call in Jonestown, the members that I've been dealing with on it, I told them I needed it. It was relayed. I told Patrick I needed it. It was relayed to the band. The band immediately got in contact with me and was talking with me about making everything go.
I tell you something, music set aside, from a business standpoint, here's the difference with this band. As much as Patrick, you've seen him, like you said, you've watched him, you know how he is. He's motivated, and he'll go that extra mile with his music. Throughout the years, many different bands, come and go. And, he's always been the one in that band that's pushing the band, and everybody's just kind of riding the coattails. I've seen from the other side, Aaron, Mr. Starzak. Yeah. Now, he's exactly like Patrick. He's got talent unlimited. Oh, my God, this guy can play guitar. He's a good songwriter. And he has been just like Patrick. He's had a string of bands, but he's the engine, and nobody else wants to help pull.
I'm going to tell you right now, because I believe Mr. Starzak is listening. Starzak, it has been a pleasure interacting with you about getting the band attention.
Yeah. You want to talk about don't read a book by the cover? This is the gentleman to see about that. Because you look at him and you go, whoa, and then you get to know him, and you're like, man, what a level-headed, good-hearted dude.
Yeah. Now, the rest of the members of the band I've only met in passing. I've been in their presence, but I was directly talking with Pat at the point, and not trying to not interact, but it was just the flow of the conversation. I walked in, I was on my way out, I said something to Pat, they were all in the room. Starzak I've talked to over the phone, via text and whatnot, on it. Have no opinion of the others other than they're good musicians.
Now, the drummer,
haven't met him.
He has the same work ethic as Mr. Starzak and Mr. Mars, Pat. And he has been in bands, and he's the same thing. He wanted to do more, and the bands just fell apart. What we got here with Last Call in Jonestown is 3 engines pulling at the same rate, and then they've got a lead singer. Now, I don't know a lot about him. I don't know if he's been in another band. I don't think so. I think they found him, and just on charisma and karma alone, this guy is a frontman of all frontmans. He could be the next David Lee Roth. He really could. He's just got to get used to it.
If you can't hear, that's him beaming over what his son's involved in.
Oh, yeah. It's different than anything else that's going on right now on the Detroit scene.
Yes. Okay, so let me explain that a little further. Last Call in Jonestown is from Downriver, Detroit. They are a punk, ska, thrash crossover. That's right. Punk, ska, thrash crossover. I love punk, man. I always have loved punk music. I believe it's the ADHD in me and in my brain, because it's fast. It's like if a punk song goes over 2 minutes and 10 seconds, it's too goddamn long. All right? If it makes it 2 minutes and 10 seconds, it's a long punk song. I loved the old school punk, and I even found appreciation for the pop punk that came along.
Right.
And then when it went even further, like now punk is a lot of covers. It's that real sped up fucking attitude covering
Punk
other
has
songs.
changed so much since it's first come around. It's hard to keep it nailed down. You can't. And I guess that's the nature of punk.
And what gets even cooler is the influences that each member of the band has.
Totally different.
So weird. Okay, so you got Owl vocals. He System of the Down, SNFU, and Toe. And then you got Aaron Starzyk. He's on the guitar. That's Doom Riders, Red Fang, Maximum, The Hormone, Oingo Boingo. Pat is on bass. That's Black Sabbath. That's Kiss. That's Judas Priest. That's Tom Waits, which surprised the hell out of me when I saw it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You want to talk about weird. Talk to Patrick about old blues. The boot lip big catfish Joe, he knows them all.
Wow.
Every single one of them. He knows the histories of rock and blues. That's where his love of rock comes from.
Right.
So now you got a blues guy, a punk ska guy, and it's just a mix like I've never heard before.
And it works.
Oh, it works big time.
So finishing off Pat's list is Slayer. Then you got Kozak on drums. He's got SOD, Anthrax, Iron Maiden, Exodus, and the Descendants. They describe themselves as the last true country western troubadours, and they don't give a damn about your birds. They've got a bunch of upcoming events. July 3rd, they're going to be at the Russell Industrial in Detroit. It's a free show. If I remember correctly, Patrick said they're going to be on the 3rd floor. So I'm sure you can go to the Russell and see the events and whatever's going on July 3rd. Last Call in Jonestown is going to be there. July 31st, they're going to be at the Sanctuary in Hamtramck. And August 7th, they are going to be at the Inside Out Fest at Simon's After Dark in Allen Park. Now, that Simon show is going to be an interesting one because there's a very good chance that our station manager is going to be up there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because Simon's is one of Planky's favorite places to go.
Yeah, we've been there with Bring Out Your Dead before.
And I don't know if you heard or not last night while Planky was talking, Starzyk and Planky know each other.
Oh, no, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until I was listening last night. Yeah.
It's not surprising.
No, especially if,
You're in that scene.
Well, here's the thing. If Starzyk has put in the effort like that, he's played at Simon's or he's been in the scene and whatnot. And
knows the same people.
Yeah.
Same circles. Yep.
So
yeah, that's how how that rolls. Everybody knows everybody. You have to.
They currently have a 4-song, what would you call it? Demo sampler.
Sampler. Yeah, they call it a sampler.
But then they have the triple LP. No, they have the EP coming out. Sorry. Yeah, it's the sampler, the triple LP demo, and then the EP coming this summer. Now, this is where being in radio is fun. I have the whole thing already. I have the EP, all 9 songs. And I have gone through and I've listened to it. There's only 2 of them I'm playing tonight. And that was at their request. These are the 2 songs that they wanted pushed right now. These 2 songs are on the sampler, the demo.
Right.
But the rest of the stuff, as soon as I get the okay to start playing the extra stuff, I will. Right now, you'll probably just hear what's on the 4 songs, unless I'm specifically told
to play the others.
Yeah. Like, they said that I'm free to play whatever, but because it doesn't come out till summer,
Right. Don't want to step on their toes.
Right. You know, if
I'm
they
sure we
want
could
to
work something on if we really wanted to, but you know.
Yeah. We know a guy who knows a guy. That's all we're saying.
In the band.
Yeah. I know the band. I know them.
That's my boy.
Oh God, we are the two old guys.
Yeah, I'm feeling real old right about now. But yeah, no, they are a unique band, and I'm not just tooting his horn because he's my son. If he sucked, I'd let you know.
No, and
you got a 4-wheel drive band here that nobody's ever seen anything like this in a while.
Yep, and it seems like they got the determination to have the legs.
Yeah, like I said, a 4-wheel drive band. Everybody's pulling in the same direction. I've never seen it happen in the last 10, 12 years. It's refreshing.
Yeah. So we've got a bunch of other stuff to talk about tonight, but I wanted to get that out and pushed right at the beginning, and we'll touch on it again a little bit when we go to our first break in about 15 minutes. So I need to hurry my ass up with a couple of the actual topics that I intended to cover in the first hour. I gushed a little too much. That's on me.
If you haven't checked them out, you definitely need to go see them live. That's something.
So, as of right now, the poll is still there, but I'm only getting a few trickle-in votes now.
Okay, so as it stands now, what kind of movie are we watching come Thursday?
Call Girl of Cthulhu.
I kind of was afraid of that. Not that everything on that list didn't frighten the hell out of me.
Well, and I told you, everything on that list, I've not seen before either.
Yeah, that doesn't make me feel any better about it.
I went through it. I was like, sure, let's watch that. Let's watch. This is why I've seen so many of those weird or offbeat movies, is because
you subject yourself to them.
I see the title, I see whatever they put up for the cover art, right. I read the description, and then I give it about 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's all about Took on that last one. About 30 minutes. About killed my ass.
I'll send you the trailer for Call Girl of Cthulhu.
I'll just come in blind.
Well, then you're doing it to yourself, because I'm willing to.
Hey, it's just better if you get a straight reaction. That's why we do it on Thursday, for I don't forget anything.
There is another movie title, and that if I thought you wouldn't be too tired or you wanted to come earlier, I would do a double feature. There was another one that I looked at. I was like, that's got Paul on it. I think this, no matter how bad this is, I think he might be willing to watch it. American Sasquatch.
Oh, you know I'll watch that.
Yeah. And I saw it today, and I was like...
Might have already seen it.
No, because I think it's a recent release.
Oh, I look for shit like that, so I might have stumbled across it.
I found it on Amazon.
Oh, then I haven't seen it.
What is this?
I usually scour the YouTube.
Yeah, there's a problem. I understand.
Oh. I haven't seen that cover, if that's any constellation.
It's called America Sasquatch. Terror Has No Borders.
Huh. No, I don't think I've seen it.
Let me see. It was released on my birthday last year.
Wow. Yeah, we got double feature.
Yeah. I'm trying to read the synopsis. A group of paranormal investigators in the UK come face to face with the American legend Bigfoot and must fight for their lives to try to capture proof of the creature's existence.
Bigfoot in the UK?
Maybe the UK people are in America for one reason. If they're paranormal investigators, they may have come.
American Sasquatch, I would suspect they would have had to come to America.
Yeah.
They're just UK. Okay. Because I don't think, well, I say that, but I'm sure there is a Bigfoot sighting in the UK.
Well, I mean,
it's an island nation, though, so.
Civilizations all over the globe have some lore that involves a Sasquatch-esque creature.
Yeah, Hawaii's even got them.
So
they're just shorter.
But yeah, it looks like we are going to be covering or watching Call Girl of Cthulhu.
You gotta love the title.
Yeah. Well, I've been going on Twitter lately, and I've been tagging like the movies and stuff that I found or I intend to watch.
Right.
And I tagged the Call Girl of Cthulhu
That's
one.
one that you wanted to see.
That I put up that so far the poll is leading towards Call Girl of Cthulhu. And when I tagged them in it, they actually ended up liking it and
Maybe we
retweeting.
should just add American Sasquatch to the list
We could.
and then have people vote on it, because I like not having to pick what we watch. Make them pick it.
You never pick.
No,
It's me.
Yeah, I know it. But a lot of them you've seen, like Rubber. You've seen.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't watch that here, did we?
No, we saw that independently of each other.
I watched that on my own, sadly enough.
Well, your son had brought it to your attention, right? Patrick did.
Right, yeah. He was like, "You got to see this movie." I was like, "What's it about?" He said, "A tire that comes to life and kills people." I just stood there and looked at him.
All right. Cool. But after watching it, what did you actually think of the movie?
As sad as it is to say the story held water, I mean, it was a decent story, but just due to the fact that it was a tire, it made it ridiculous. Now, if you replaced the tire with an actor, it would have been a good movie.
See, here's the thing. When it comes to Rubber, the entire movie is explained
At the beginning.
And it's simple. Why is that car brown in the movie?
Just because it is.
No reason. That's exactly what they say. No reason.
Yep.
Why is the tire alive and start killing people? No reason.
No reason.
Just sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's like the first thing said in the movie.
Yep. But yeah, the whole no reason, and that's the point, is to sit back and just enjoy the movie for what it is.
And if you do that, you'll enjoy the movie.
Yep. Well, and see, this is an issue I have as a whole with some of the movie going public. Admittedly, there are some bad movies out there, but I think a lot of people go into specific movies with expectations. And I don't think that that's the right approach to go to the movies. You got to remember, movie is art. It may not feel like art, but by going to the theater, you're essentially going to a museum. And you don't know what the hell to expect when you go to a museum. There may be a piece there that you were intending to see, but you're going to see a whole bunch of other stuff along the way that you weren't prepared for.
Something that might shock you or surprise you or interest you. You go for the Mona Lisa and you're taken away by a Picasso.
The point of the movies is supposed to be to transport us to a completely different place at a completely different time and just enjoy the experience.
Right.
But see, Hollywood, because of pressure from people that the movie going public, their trailers give away 90% of the movie.
Right. You see all the best parts.
Right.
Or parts that ain't even there.
Yeah. But like the Marvel movies, you have some people that are like, they're not following canon and can't accept the fact that they're writing their own.
Here's one that blows my mind. I got a brother that loves Star Wars, loves Indiana Jones, watches Stargate 9, but refuses to watch any of the Marvel movies because they're unbelievable. And I was like, and you have a problem with Marvel, but not Star Wars, Stargate. Hello.
Why is watching a movie or a TV series that's unbelievable a problem? Isn't that the point?
Yeah. And how do you distinguish Star Wars as not being unbelievable? Or Stargate. Or any of them, you know? One's just as ridiculous as the next.
Yeah.
So,
See,
yeah,
you have
I don't get
hang-ups.
it.
There are certain genres of movies that I just don't enjoy. Like, I'm not a big romance guy. I
I
don't...
like Westerns, not big on army movies. I don't like love stories.
The occasional Western, the occasional army movie, there are
it has
outliers.
To be action-packed. It has to keep moving.
See, not always. Okay,
Like
so I just watched an army movie not too long ago. I watched Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito.
we discussed this. I don't think I've seen that movie.
Okay, I watched it with Ollie. My friend Ray and I... Long story short, Ray loves this movie and quotes it, and nobody ever gets it. And when he quoted it to me for the first time, I realized exactly what he meant and riffed with him on it. And he got so excited.
One of us.
Okay, so you know how parents always say that it's the look in the eye of the child at Christmas?
Oh boy, somebody gets it.
Right. the vocalization of that is what I experienced, and it was nice. I'm glad he has now someone that can understand. And I told Ali, I was like, you need to see this movie, and she's like, no. And I was like, no, you need to see this movie. It's not as bad as you think. I know Danny DeVito teaches a class of the quote-unquote slower recruits.
Capable.
Shakespeare. It's essentially Dead Poets Society. It's essentially Dangerous Minds. All of those. It's a trope.
Now, Dead Poets Society, I got
a
soft spot in my heart for that one.
But the trope works here. Danny DeVito's character is a failed marketing exec,
right.
Advertise exec, and it takes place here in Detroit, and it was actually filmed in Detroit. It's from like 98, I want to say, a little earlier than that. They probably shot it in 96. But anyways, so he gets fired from the ad company. He has to go on unemployment, and as part of unemployment, he's got to sign up for them to find him work. And they end up giving him a job. They say, you report here, and they tell him it's a teaching, and he's like, I'm not a teacher. And she's like, well, you have a master's degree. That means you can teach. And he was like, do you know how many kids carry guns in schools? And because it's a military base, the woman behind the counter looks at him and says, you obviously didn't look to see where it was. They all do. And yeah, it's at Fort McLean?
Could be.
Yeah, Fort McLean.
Wouldn't know the name if you said it.
Anyways, here in Michigan, and you can tell it was shot here because it looks like here, and there are landmarks in but anyway, so he ends up having to teach this group of what they call slow cadets. They're good soldiers, but they're just a little off. They've got personality, and unfortunately, and he has no idea what to teach them, and so he gives them like a SSR time, like let's read something, and they all bring in bullshit, and he's got Shakespeare that he's reading, and they ask him what he's reading, and from there they get interested in Shakespeare, and he finds ways to teach them Shakespeare in ways that they can understand, right. To the point of teaching them how to recite Shakespeare, that there's a rhythm to it. You can't just read it like this.
Right.
Anyways, it's a good movie. It's got comedic elements. I mean, it's like 90 minutes I don't mind spending once in a while. So go watch Renaissance Man, everyone, right now. No, wait, do it later.
Not yet.
We're actually getting ready to go to our first break, and so the first two songs you're going to get are Dead Skies and I Create, I Destroy by Last Call in Jonestown. The third song in this block you're going to get is from a new band that to my show as well. They are called I Am Trouble. I do have a workup on them, but I didn't have time to prep. There's been some stuff today that I'm not going into, but in many ways today, Odd was to the rescue. Yeah. So, but they're called I Am Trouble, and I will get you more information about them when the show is posted. But again, Last Call in Jonestown, Dead Skies, I Create, I Destroy, ska, punk, thrash, and they've got shows coming up here. July 3rd, they're going to be at the Russell. July 31st, they're going to be in Hamtramck. I closed out the thing that I had open with it because I'm an idiot.
And the last one is Simon's After Dark on the 7th.
Yeah, 31st, they're going to be at the Sanctuary, and August 7th, Inside Out Fest at Simon's After Dark in Allen Park. So, I mean, by all means, things are opening up now, and if you so choose, go out, check out the shows. I know there's a lot of music people that have been struggling these last however many months it was, where they couldn't go to live shows, and now live shows are starting.
The venues open again.
Yeah. These bands need to get back out there.
Even if you don't go see Last Call in Jonestown, go see somebody.
But first, go see Last Call at Jonestown.
Yeah, of course.
Anyways, we're going to go to break. You're listening to The Odd Pod on TapDetroit.com, and we will be back.
Now it's time for the Odd Pod's Patreon shout-out. Big thanks to Justin Burnside for becoming a patron. We hope you enjoy our long, uncut and girthy episodes until you're fully satisfied and left shaking from laughter. For everyone else, you can join our Patreon too. Just head to patreon.com/theoddpod. Become a patron and reap the benefits today.
you tired of incense that stinks? Motor City Candleworks is Metro Detroit's #1 source for premium handmade incense, as well as hand sanitizer and now massage oil, with a wide array of scents inspired by Michigan cities and attractions. You're sure to find a fragrance that'll keep your love of the mitten burning all year round. Head to MotorCityCandleworks.com and order yours today. And make sure you find them on Facebook, too, for all of their upcoming sales and events. Motor City Candleworks. Michigan handmade scents that just make sense.
That smell. The kind of smelly smell.
Hi, this is your friendly neighborhood radio DJ Oddman. Just wanted to let you know that the Odd Pod has an official merch shop set up for all the oddities eager to get covered in a bit of odd. Or maybe you want to seduce your partner by slipping into something a little more odd.
Ooh la la.
Maybe you just want to wallpaper a room in your house with stickers, because we got them too.
I'm gonna need more stickers.
You can find a link on our page via Facebook or on our page over at tapdetroit.com/The Odd Pod. So show your support and love for The Odd Pod today by picking up something from our store. Yeah, that's right. Pick up something from our store.
Gonna need more stickers. More stickers.
I want everyone to know that if you've ever done the show or called in or ever intend to do either of those, understand I will have your audio and I will do things with it as I so choose. Now, you can take that however you would like to, but understand it's going to happen.
Been warned.
Because I'm going to need more stickers is taken from the Tell Me a Story, the very first Tell Me a Story.
The sticker incident.
No, I mentioned this last week. I have one of Corey's mom that I need to do something with. I've got Corey's mom screaming. So take that however you want.
That didn't sound good, but all right. I'm sorry, Corey's mom.
Do whatever you wish with that information. That's what I'm going to say. That song at the end there was, again, by I Am Trouble, and it is called Suffering.
That was a good tune.
Yeah. So you're going to hear more. You're going to hear that probably in rotation here for a while, and you're also going to hear Last Call in Jonesville on rotation as well. So I love new music.
I know.
And you can tell everything's opening back up because the music is flowing to me. We actually have another new one from a band that we play regularly coming up in the next block. And it is The Lonely Ones have a new song.
I like them guys.
I do too. I have played them quite a bit because I enjoy how they sound. Mm-hmm. And I play what I like to hear.
Funny how that works. Huh?
Yeah. Well, I've said there's things that I don't like. There's music genres that I don't like necessarily, but that doesn't mean what I get sent doesn't sound good. Right. It's a weird deviation.
Well, like I always say when I run across something, it's not my cup of tea, but I can hear the talent behind the music, and I can appreciate it for what it is.
Well, I ran into another weird deviation like that just recently. Ollie and I were sitting and talking, and I was trying to get a point across, and the problem is a lot of the times between Ollie and I, when I am trying to get a point across, there is no emotion, there is no nothing to it. There is just the words that I'm using. And I'm choosing those words very carefully for a reason. And the problem comes is there are words that invoke emotions from her. Like when we get talking, when we get talking about like LGBT stuff or women's rights stuff, and I'm totally on board, 100%. But there are things that when I'm explaining, she cringes at, and I keep trying to tell her, you have to understand. You know where my head's at, you know where my heart's at, and you know where my mindset is at. When I'm trying to explain the point, I'm choosing words specifically for what I mean. As I'm saying.
As I'm trying to get my point across.
Not the added connotation that society or your emotions have added to the words.
Your perception of the source.
And I know that sounds dickish because it's like I'm not taking her feelings into account. I am, but in order to properly articulate sometimes, words only have as much power as you give them.
See, everybody seems to forget the same rights that give somebody the right to be the way they are is the same rights that give you not. Everybody has the same rights, and to tell anybody anything is pointless because it's just your opinion.
Yeah, unfortunately, even though there are some solid truths, like at least for where we're at right now.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah, and I think that's what it comes down to. But yeah, it's just weird because like I've come to think, I haven't sat down and taken the test, but I have come to think that I might, the way my head works and the way I think and talk at times, I feel I might fall somewhere on that autistic spectrum, because there are a lot of similarities. Either that, I'm just a fucking asshole. Because
we going to vote on this? let's put a vote up on that.
Because even though I'm not autistic, I still seem to behave so and expect to get away with it.
Autistic or is just an asshole?
It's 50-50, man. I'm going to tell you. Probably 75-25 of me just being an asshole. I tell people this all the time. I don't mean anything by it.
No, I get myself in trouble. I always say the wrong thing, and I never deliberately try to hurt anybody, but boy, do I step on toes.
Motor City Candleworks is back vending. Mr. Brown is back and healed and everything. The confirmed Motor City Candleworks will be at the Flowers in the Mitten on July 31st in downtown Romulus from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. We will have item not available online. So they're going to have something that you can't get unless you show up.
Well, you got to be there to get it.
And if you mention the Odd Pod, you get a free gift with any purchase.
A sanitation station?
You know what? You'll have to go down there and find out. It's just down in Romulus.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I know where it's at because I believe it's an open air area. So it's outside.
Yeah, Biden said it's over, so no, we don't need them.
Whatever. If it makes you feel better knowing, I believe if I know where he's going to be at, it's the flower shop in downtown Romulus.
Okay.
Because I remember they were doing events towards, like, when things opened up and the weather allowed, like that weird shaky period where will they, won't they shit. Right. They were doing events down there. I remember seeing stuff being posted about the flower shop down in Romulus. So
yeah.
But yeah, if you mention the Odd Pod, you get a free gift with any purchase. So head on out. Look, it's going to be nice, I'm sure, on the 31st.
Everybody's looking to get out and do something.
Yeah.
So might as well be that.
Yep. And it ain't going to cost you that much. It's fairly cheap. And you're supporting small local businesses. Remember the people that got screwed over in the pandemic?
Didn't get $300 bonuses.
Yeah, and that's something we're going to talk about. You know what? Let's dive into it because it is.
Let's jump right in.
Yeah, it's a fairly intensive thing that I have here, so we're going to have to just get started with it. So there are some things that are going on. You and I have been talking about this privately. Yeah, and. We are both, I believe, turning each other on to ideas we hadn't thought of yet.
Yeah, we're both looking at the same problem from different angles.
I can't stop thinking about it, though, because I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going on here. And
there's something not right. Something's fishy here.
So, where do we start? Okay, so if we throw the argument that the GOP has been throwing around that people are just lazy and don't want to work out the window, if we remove that one, because unfortunately that is the common and easiest and go-to one. Right. There is no more explanation needed at that point. They're just fucking lazy. They won't get a job. They want to live on welfare. Out the window. Because there are going to be people in any given system or society that are going to be like that. It happens. There's nothing you can do about it. So, those people, that argument out the window. Now, you brought up something that I hadn't thought about, I believe, that we lost 500,000 people.
Mostly older.
Yeah, in the pandemic and mostly older. And the thing is if you look at the industries that are currently hurting the most, it's service industry, it's retail work, it's groceries, it's things like that.
Where these older retired peoples was working part-time jobs, McDonald's, Walmart greeters.
It's also where the younger people were working as well.
And now those jobs have been filled with the fresh high school kids, and those jobs are actually became jobs that they were supposed to be originally because all the older people are passed.
Well, and that supposed to be thing, I was actually talking to Joel the other night about that, and that supposed to be thing is... I get the argument, but at the same time, nothing ever stays as it's intended. Things change.
When it comes down to the core of everything, it's a fixed game, and you can't win a fixed game. That's what it comes down to.
And I think what you're seeing right now is there are multiple groups that are trying to stand their ground. They don't.
Yeah, they're seeing it for the first time.
They're tired of it.
Hey, we're waking up here. Why is it that you get $200,000 a year and somebody on disability doesn't get, but what, $7,000, $10,000, $12,000 average? Don't make sense.
Joel doesn't believe that fast food workers should get $15 an hour. He doesn't. There's no talking him into it one way or another. You know, he says $15 an hour as a minimum wage is too much. There's no reason a burger flipper should get that. And
okay, well, then where's the profit line for the corporation that runs the business? How much is too much an hour for them to make?
Right. Well, the thing that you got to look at is he keeps pointing out that these jobs were never intended to be long-term. These jobs were never intended for the people to try to sustain themselves on. And that's where my argument of things don't always stay how they're supposed to come in. So
when you send all the other jobs overseas, you got to take what's there.
When you get talking about that fact, now you understand that society does change, but now what you have is a classist view. Because why don't they deserve it? Well, they're just flipping burgers. They're working.
Yep,
they're getting up every day, putting on their fucking uniform, going somewhere they hate, dealing with people they hate.
Public service sucks.
Yeah, and that's another problem, but that's
the point.
Yeah. They're getting up and they're putting in the effort. It's not about who fucking works harder, honestly. Everyone's putting in effort, and that effort and the amount of stuff that you have to deal with, what I'm saying is, should at least garner you a livable wage.
A survivable wage.
No, survivable is what we have right now. There's a difference between surviving and living.
They're not surviving.
But there's a difference in my mind between living and surviving. Living is, you might be able to take a vacation once a year. Living is, you have a savings account that you can actually put money in. Living is having a sense of peace of mind.
Not having to worry about where your next meal's coming from.
Or if the next bill's going to get paid. Yeah.
You're going to get shut off next month.
That's livable to me. The ability to save means you can possibly take a vacation a year. But nobody has the ability to save right now because everything's out of whack with our economy and the inflation. So there's no way to fix that, honestly. But if you adjust the wages and bring the poverty line up a little bit, you give those people a fighting chance for a little while until inflation catches up with it. The problem is $15 an hour as a minimum wage would have been fine 10 years ago.
Let's look at the auto industry. Back in the day, the auto industry, essentially assembly line workers, you could hop from job to job on a weekly basis. You could go to Ford, you could go to GM, you could go to different factories and different jobs at different times, and it was just interchangeable. It was like hopping from McDonald's to McDonald's. Okay, well, back then a car cost $2,000. Back in the early 70s. Okay, well, look now. The workers have been phased out with robots. Mm-hmm. There's a skeleton crew compared to what it used to be. Mm-hmm. The parking lots that used to hold all these workers are full of solar panels. Mm-hmm. And now they're not using metal from Pittsburgh. They're not using stuff. They're buying their parts from Japan. All their electronics come pre-assembled from Japan, and they put them together, and a new truck costs $50,000.
Yep. That's why every time I see one of those out of a job yet, keep buying foreign, because it's on a vehicle that I know was only assembled here.
Right. And
it wasn't built here.
The people that are working at these factories just barely make enough to buy their own product. They're not out there buying a new pickup every 2 years. They're having to, a 6-year loan with their job. They're making the product and they can't even afford to have it.
Can I ask a question? Well, yeah, that's the thing too, is like you're basically making something that even your own workers can't afford.
Right.
No. Like that seems.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
And we look at the auto industry as better paid people.
Can I ask a question that I have always wondered?
Sure.
Why do we need a new model of a car every year?
Yeah, I never understood that. Just to give the designer something to do? Yeah, I don't really understand that neither. If you got a good model, a good-looking car like the 76 Stingray, don't change it. Don't change it until people are sick of it.
Unless there is a drastic improvement. Don't change it.
But I guess if you're never changing, then you're never looking for the next best thing. So I don't know.
It seems silly.
To have 5 or 6 different cars and change them every year seems kind of absurd to me, too.
Yeah. Like, because you got to, these automakers, they don't just have one car that they make. They have lines.
Just look at mine and my daughter's car. Her car is a 17, mine's a 19. There's only 2 years. They're the exact same car. But there ain't a part on them that you could interchange. Not one.
Nope. Well, and then you get vehicles like my old truck, which was a half year.
Right.
Which is half the old model and half the new model.
We couldn't change out the whole assembly line, so we just did this.
Yeah. Something interesting, well, scary, but interesting happened, and nobody seems to be paying attention to it. This happened during the pandemic. There was the largest transfer of wealth ever in our history. The American working class lost let me hang on, I've got it here because I was smart and
It's all the small business owners losing their ass.
I wanted it saved for later. Yeah, okay, so the working class lost $3.7 trillion in earnings during the pandemic. Women and Gen Z saw the biggest losses.
Everybody got hurt, but the top.
The world's billionaires
getting rich.
Made $3.9 trillion during the pandemic.
I know. They view the working class people of this country as a dish rag full of water, and they're trying to squeeze every ounce of that water out of it as they can get by any means necessary.
See, I tried to get it across to Joel that what I see happening right now is behavior that would have been taught by a union.
Right.
Because they've just stopped. They don't want to. There's a lot of people that don't want to play anymore, that are figuring out their own way and not wanting to flood into these places like warehouses and McDonald's and whatnot. They don't want to do it anymore.
See, everybody always wants to point, well, if you got a college education, well, if you would have done this, if you would have done that, if you would have been a Republican, if you would have been a Democrat, if you try harder, if you wasn't lazy. Okay, people, here's a wake-up call. This isn't about black and white or Catholic or religion or anything else. This is about money. It's always about money. It's about the haves and the have-nots. It's always been about the haves and the have-nots. Everything else is a distraction. The people on top have got the money, are writing the rules, and the rest of us suffer because of it, and they allow us to work at their meaningless jobs to support our society, for we think we're free. We're not free. We're living in an economy that it takes 2 people working full-time jobs just to sustain a household.
And you're barely going to do that.
Yeah, and it's getting worse all the time. And if you stop and look around to see what's happening, working hard doesn't mean shit anymore. It doesn't. You can work your ass off and still have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones at the top that are writing the rules, well, look, I'll say the president's son, just to keep from saying his name, is now selling art at tens of $1,000s a picture. He's dropping paint droplets on a canvas, blowing it around and selling it to the Saudi emirate for tens of $1,000s a painting. Nobody's buying these pictures. It's a cover-up to hide the money that he's getting from the Saudis because of Daddy. This is a fixed system. Until we stop the fixed system, it's always going to be the same, and it's going to get worse.
Yeah. Well, it's time that we really say enough is enough. If you're truly tired of it, don't wag your finger thinking that it's somebody sitting next to you that's making it bad for you.
It's not the red wing, it's not the blue wing, it's the bird in general.
Yep. We are flying on a path that makes no sense for us, and it's only going to get worse. I've been reading Gen Z will likely never own their own home.
Nope. The American dream is out of reach for the average American person.
Yep.
Congratulations.
And education barely means anything
it's
anymore.
It's training to the opposite of everything that was once a moral standard.
Yep.
Everything that was a moral standard, they're in our public schools teaching the opposite.
It's funny you bring that up because we've got something a little bit later that I feel they're doing exactly that on.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing.
So we're going to go to break. You're going to get the new one by the Lonely Ones. It's called Dying All Night Long. You're going to get Smileyfoot, She's Like the Wind, and you're going to get the Rumors, Want Ya.
Like them.
Oh, also, bravo. You and I work together very well. Do you know that?
No, I don't.
Because that point that you just brought up about how they're teaching the opposite of what needs to be taught. There's a clip that's going to play right after this break.
Okay.
It's the video I sent you earlier.
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
I didn't watch it. I'm sorry.
All right. I tried. At this point,
too,
you have to come along for the
issues.
you have to. At this point, you have to come along for the ride, and basically, you can't argue. You didn't watch. You can listen.
I'll argue after I listen.
Well, the video shows the wording circled.
Oh, okay.
Like it's
a visual, and I've missed it.
Yeah, because you're going to hear it, and you're going to be like, nah, and this is someone interpretation or whatnot. It's circled. The document that was given to her. Yeah. So anyways, you're going to get the Lonely Ones, Dying All Night Long, Smileyfoot, She's Like the Wind, and the Rumors Want Ya, and then that clip is going to play after our break. So yeah, we'll let it run right through that, and then when we come back, we'll talk about that. And if for whatever reason you are only listening to the fun size right now, that's right, I'm talking to you. Talking to you that is busy and has other stuff to do on a Friday night other than hang out with my weird ass. But I love you because you're at least hanging out with my weird ass on your own time, and I respect the hustle. However, if you want to hear the whole show, I highly recommend you either tune in on Friday nights, find a way, stick a earbud in so nobody will notice. I don't know. It's up to you. Find a way. Or join the Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to our entire archive in full, the 3-hour show. We are on episode 33 right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
33. And so you will get all the past shows, all 32 other shows, and this one in their entirety. And
that's 90 hours.
Yeah, and you also will get a coupon code for Motor City Candleworks that you can use that'll take 10% off your orders.
10% off the good stinky.
The stinky stuff. Anyways, we're going to break. We'll see you right after.
Thanks for checking out the Odd Pod. If you want to hear the whole show, consider becoming a patron of our Patreon. Head to patreon.com/the Odd Pod. We're also all over social media like an STI that won't wash off. Head to tapdetroit.com/the Odd Pod to follow us today. We're already following you, and you forgot to buy milk.